The moment happened in slow motion. The lights cut. The arena went pitch black. And then that music. 3 notes. Just 3 notes. And 20,000 people lost their minds. What if Dean Ambrose walked through that curtain on Monday Night Raw to stand beside his brother Roman Reigns one more time? What if the lunatic fringe came home? Familia, tonight we are diving deep into the fantasy booking scenario that the entire WWE universe has been dreaming about. Dean Ambrose returns to Raw to save Roman Reigns. This is Wrestling Streams, and we do not do hypotheticals halfway. To understand why this story hits different, you have to go back to where it all began. The year was 2012. 3 men in tactical gear walked through the crowd and changed professional wrestling forever. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. The Shield was not just a faction, it was a statement. These 3 men operated like a military unit, speaking in one voice, moving as one force, and dismantling anyone who stood in their way. The chemistry between them was not manufactured in a writer's room. It was real. The brotherhood was real. And when the Shield finally imploded in 2014, it left a scar on this business that never fully healed. Fast forward to today. Roman Reigns is at war. The bloodline is fractured beyond recognition, and the man who once commanded an empire now finds himself surrounded by enemies on every side. Solo Sikoa has turned that family name into a weapon pointed directly at Roman. The numbers game is suffocating. Roman has heart, Roman has pride, Roman has the pedigree of a dynasty behind him, but right now, he does not have enough soldiers. And that is where this fantasy begins to breathe. Picture this. Raw is live. Roman Reigns is standing in the center of that ring, back against the ropes, outnumbered, the bloodline closing in from every corner. The crowd is on its feet, not in celebration but in dread, watching the slow execution of a legend. And then the lights die. Complete darkness. The arena holds its breath. And when the spotlight returns, there is a figure at the top of the ramp. Hoodie up. Head down. That unmistakable silhouette. The walk. Everybody in that building knows that walk before the music even hits. Dean Ambrose has come home. The pop would not just break the internet, it would shatter it. We are talking about the loudest moment in Raw history in years. Because here is what people sometimes forget about Dean Ambrose: this man was never just a Shield member. He was the heartbeat of that faction. He was the one you could never predict, never contain, never figure out. Seth Rollins was the architect, Roman Reigns was the muscle, but Ambrose was the chaos. He was the reason nobody ever felt safe. And chaos, familia, is exactly what Roman Reigns needs right now. Think about the storytelling layers this return would unlock. You have Roman, a man who once ruled WWE with an iron fist, now humbled, now vulnerable, now in desperate need of backup. And the person who answers that call is not a hired gun, not a new alliance born out of convenience, it is his brother. The man he went to war with over a decade ago. The reunion would not just be emotional, it would be narratively perfect. WWE has spent years trying to recreate Shield magic in different forms, and nothing has ever come close to the original. This would be the original. And let us not sugarcoat the real-world dimension of this fantasy, because that is what makes it so intoxicating. Paul Heyman himself recently stood in a WWE ring and said the name Dean Ambrose out loud. He listed Brock Lesnar's victims, and that name was on the list. Whether it was intentional or not, whether it was a throwaway line or a carefully placed breadcrumb, the reaction from the WWE universe was volcanic. Fans immediately started asking the same question we are asking right now: is he coming back? The door was cracked open, even if just for a second, and once you crack the door, the imagination walks right through it. Now in our fantasy booking, Ambrose does not just show up and shake hands. That would not be Dean Ambrose. The return has to have teeth. Maybe he does not immediately align with Roman. Maybe the first thing he does is stand between Roman and the bloodline with that unhinged stare, that expression that makes you genuinely unsure what he is going to do next. The crowd is screaming. Roman is watching. And Ambrose slowly turns to look at his brother, and there is a long, loaded pause, 5 seconds that feel like 5 years of history compressed into a single moment. And then he nods. That is all. Just a nod. And Roman nods back. Brotherhood confirmed. Shield reactivated. The match possibilities from this single moment are almost overwhelming. Ambrose and Reigns versus Solo Sikoa and a bloodline member in a brutal street fight. A Shield reunion tag match at a premium live event. And this is the booking that would make WrestleMania history: a Shield versus New Bloodline War Games style showdown that burns the whole arena to the ground. Every single one of those directions is money. Every single one of those directions is must-see television. There is also a deeply personal story to be told between Ambrose and Seth Rollins in this universe. These two have history that runs deeper than most feuds in this business. They were brothers, then enemies, then reluctant allies. A world where Ambrose returns and he and Seth have to stand in the same corner again without killing each other first is a story that writes itself. The tension, the trust issues, the shared memory of what they once were and the weight of what they put each other through. That is not just a wrestling angle. That is theater. And for Roman Reigns, a man who has carried this company on his back for the better part of a decade, this return would mean everything. It would signal that he does not have to fight alone anymore. That the bonds of brotherhood are stronger than contract disputes, stronger than years of silence, stronger than the distance time creates. Roman standing in that ring with Dean Ambrose at his side would be one of the most powerful images WWE has ever produced. And the WWE Universe, the same fanbase that still chants for the Shield at random moments during random shows, would absolutely lose their minds. This is the fantasy, familia. Dean Ambrose, back on Monday Night Raw, hoodie up, fists ready, standing beside Roman Reigns in the biggest fight of his career. It has not happened yet. But the fact that we are talking about it, the fact that Paul Heyman put that name back in the air, the fact that Seth Rollins himself said you never know what WrestleMania looks like, all of that tells us one thing: the door is not closed. And in WWE, when a door is not closed, legends have a habit of walking right through it. Dean Ambrose, come home. The Shield needs to ride one more time. That is the vision, familia. No filler, just fire.